So just to give you a bit of an overview of Eskom RT&D, and this is a bit of the boring part of it. How do I go down? Yeah. Okay, so Eskom RT&D is, which is Research, Testing and Development, is a business unit within the Sustainability and Risk Division of Eskom. And basically, what we do feeds into the objectives of the division as well as the objective of Eskom, which is to provide electricity in an efficient and sustainable manner. So from a research, testing and development perspective, and I need to stress that, because whatever I'm sharing with you is not conclusive that Eskom is going to roll this out on a large scale. This is just what we are developing in the organization's best interest, as well as, more importantly, in the country's best interest. So you will see, and I will share with you, that there's been a significant shift in the thinking, particularly in the research space, as to what we need to research and the value that we need to add to the organization and to the country. But having said that, our mandate as RT&D has three legs to it, and that is basically we are mandated to research and develop next horizon technologies for application within the organization. We also then, and it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, where we've, through the years, through our research and exposure to different specialized fields, we've actually, we've obviously grown specialist skills within the organization. Those skills then have some of the testing, etc., that we do cannot be rolled out, obviously, for efficiency purposes and cost purposes. So when we develop a solution, we look at it holistically and we look at, well, is this a service we should provide to the organization, or is this something the organization should adopt and run itself? In some of those instances, we have specialist knowledge and we have specialist services that is best provided from a centralized point to the organization. Then we also have, and we have testing facilities as well. So if you will see through the VR overview of our facility that we have quite a number of SANA 17025 accredited laboratories. And those are mainly in the chemical space as well as the mechanical space. So we do provide that service primarily at this point in time only to Eskom, because we are in the regulated space of the business. Then we have demonstration, we demonstrate next horizon technology, so that would be large scale demonstration. What you saw now is a demonstration project where we've conceptualized it, we've gone through the first phase of proving that the system would work, that there is a business case or there is a technology case made for the demonstration. So we do what we call operational type of research in the OpEx space, and then we do large-scale implementations like the first pilots of its kind. Okay, so what our value statement to the organization is that we really are, we develop solutions, we develop solutions that will enable our leadership to make informed decisions about the business as is, the transition of the business model, because I think we all agree that the vertically integrated utility model is a dinosaur, it's dying out. So we're going to have to look at diversifying and evolving our own business case, which means incorporation of distributed energy resources as well as alternatives. So Eskom effectively moving from just selling kilowatt hours to selling services and value-added services at that. And what we've seen is that the energy landscape itself, you would have, historically you would only have utilities playing in the energy landscape, in the provision of electricity. You now have the likes of Google, people or telecoms companies or any other, basically the energy market is free for any company to enter into, and that is what distributed generation has allowed or enabled. So coming back to RT&D is, sorry, we create knowledge, we apply that knowledge to plant. So we basically, where it's technical and asset based, Our research culminates either in a standard or a guideline that is then applied to the organization. And we provide specialist skills, as I indicated earlier on. And then we also build flagship or demonstration projects. Okay. Very quickly, we are about 170 people. We're based at Rocheville in Cleveland. We have 5 departments, and the first one, which is technology strategy and research management, these are actually the guys that go out and set the strategy in line with Eskom's objectives, as well as the organizations, as well as the country's objectives. They then set the strategy in terms of what is it that we need to research, what are the timelines for us to come up with a solution. And all research, as you know in the room, it's when you research something, you can have a hypothesis. All research doesn't end up to what you want at the end of the day, but at least you know how not to do it or what not to follow, which is very important as well. So then we have the sustainability department, which is looking at your health and safety, as well as your atmospheric monitoring and your environmental impact. So they do research and provide services to the organization within the environmental, safety, and occupational health space. Then you have the wires business, which is your power delivery and utilization, and these are the guys that look at demand side management, they look at transmission, build solutions, etc. And they also look at smart grids or microgrids. We have plant performance and optimization. This team of researchers looks specifically at your generation capability. How do we sweat our assets? How do we reduce, what technologies do we implement to actually minimize? So they work hand in hand with sustainability to minimize our environmental impact. They also do coal assessments. So before we do and I know that's a hot topic right now, before we enter into any coal, long-term coal contracts, we actually do have a 1 megawatt combustion facility back at Rocheville that is a scaled-down version, not in its entirety, because all boilers operate differently. It depends on the design and the age, etc. But it basically simulates a boiler and would be able to tell you how your coal is going to perform when actually at a power station. They also do materials integrity. So we obviously when we run our plant, when you have metal or you have steel structures, you have degradation of the infrastructure. So this team looks at every outage, how much life is still left in your structure, and how many hours are left in terms of operating that particular structure. They also look at online condition monitoring and how do we remotely monitor. As you saw with the rural microgrid, how can we remotely monitor, and we are doing it currently, what is happening at each of the units at our power stations. Our business enablement is just there to support us. We have 105 engineers, 57 scientists, and 124 technicians or technologists. Interesting to note, and unfortunately we could not retain all of these learners. In the past 5 years, RT&D itself has trained and provided skills development opportunities for 240 learners that have come through our facility. So when we cannot retain them, it's important to note that once you retain them, you reduce the opportunity for a pipeline and for skills development for the country. So we have retained some of them, but some of them we've released into the business or into the workspace, South African workspace. Okay. So if I have to sum up our mandate and what RT&D does, what this slide summarizes our mandate and what we do in one slide. And basically, while we are developing skills, and those skills are being developed while we're conducting our research, whether it be short-term research or whether it be large demonstration plants. While we are conducting what I said our 3-tiered mandate is, that
Technical consulting is what is produced out of years of building knowledge. We become specialists. We provide those services back to ensure operational excellence of our existing plant. What we now have and what I will introduce you to is what we term our 12 grand challenges. So our TS&RM team have looked at what global trends are in the energy market. They've looked at utility trends, and then they've also looked at the situation within the organization. And what they've come up with is for us to have more structure and impact as RT&D on the organization, we would need to, or we have structured our work in 12 grand challenges. And those grand challenges, I think, is on the next slide, but let me, so what that study indicated to us is that what the organization needs from us is for us to focus on what the next generation or what our future generation mix by 2050 is going to look like, and what does the organization need from us in order to sustain its current business, knowing that we have, and we all know that people are defecting off the grid. So how do we sustain our current existing infrastructure with a depleting revenue stream? And then also, with that in mind, what should Eskom do in terms of diversifying its offerings to the country in the energy space?